Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today, I get to be a part of the Not Too Shabby Shop's Spring Release YouTube Hop. There is also a chance to win a $25 gift certificate to the Not Too Shabby Shop, and I'll give you more information about that in just a minute. So this is one of the stamp sets from the new release. It is called Flower Truck, and I just adore all of the images in this set. I also have a pattern paper pack. This is called Dots for Spring. Both of these items were designed by Teresa Russell, formerly Scrapping for Less. I adore her pattern paper. On one side, you have very fine dots. I'll hold it up close so you can see it. And then on the flip side, the dots are a little bit larger. But look at all of these beautiful springtime colors. This is nice heavyweight pattern paper with a beautiful sheen to it. So let's get started on our card project using this fabulous stamp set. I'm going to pull out a piece of Bristol Smooth cardstock and do a little bit of ink blending. I'm going to be using these stamps as silhouettes. So let's pull these out. I'm going to put this piece of paper in my mini MISTI so that I can stamp it several times. But this makes just a fun, quick, and beautiful card. So let's stamp out the truck. And then I'm also going to use this larger sentiment that says freshly picked flowers at the top. I'm going to use some VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink, and I'm going to do a little bit of heat embossing. So I used my anti-static powder first. Now I can ink up these stamps. And I do stamp them out twice. But once I'm done with the stamping, I'm going to pour over some clear embossing powder. I'll just gently tap off the excess. I allowed my heat tool to warm up, and then I'm going to melt this embossing powder, and it leaves everything very shiny and slightly dimensional. I just love this technique. And I put the heat tool on it for a second and then pull it off. I go kind of slow because I don't want to warp the paper. And here it is all embossed. Isn't that pretty? There's so much you can do with this stamp set, but I'm going to start out with some crackling campfire at the bottom of the card. The Bristol Smooth cardstock has a nice coating on it that allows you to blend your inks very easily and smoothly. Next is squeezed lemonade and then spun sugar. And then I'm coming in with Kitsch Flamingo. And then I wanted it to be a little bit darker, so I'm going to add a little bit of picked raspberry at the top and fired brick at the bottom, and I like it a lot more this way. Just add some darkness to it. And then I just go back and forth between the colors and get a smooth blend. I'm using a sticky note paper on my fingers so I don't get my fingerprints in the ink. Okay, one step that you need to do after you're done with your ink blending is to wipe the ink off of the embossed images. This will make it nice and black again. Otherwise, they look kind of dull under all of that oxide ink. But I'm just using a tissue to do this. You can use whatever you have. A clean microfiber cloth would work just fine. And then I do cut this panel down a little bit on the bottom and the sides. I went ahead and stamped out the butterfly image from this set, and I'm doing some fast coloring with more ink blending. I'm using the picked raspberry on the top of this butterfly's wings. And then I'll use the squeezed lemonade at the bottom. And of course, you could color these in however you want, but I thought I'd continue with the Distress Oxide inks. And then once I'm done with this quick coloring, I'm going to fussy cut these out, leaving a little bit of a white border around them. And I do that off camera just because I'm so slow at it. Okay, I thought this needed some ink flicking on it. This will add some fun texture and interest to the panel. So I'm using the crackling campfire, and I just smushed it on my acrylic block. I added a little bit of water with my aqua brush. Then I'm just going to pick up the block and flick it over the panel. And then I'm also going to come in with the Kitsch Flamingo. Or I'm sorry, no, this is the Picked Raspberry, a little bit darker, and flick some of that as well. I like to have lots of different colors. It looks so pretty. And then I don't have a white ink to use. So I allowed this to dry a little bit so I didn't smear any of the ink flicking. And I'm just using an Arteza white gel pen. I really like the Arteza gel pens. They're nice and opaque. I'm just making little dots and large dots all over this panel. I'll have to get some white ink so I can do the ink flicking. It goes a lot faster. Next, I'm going to add some Wink of Stella over the butterfly's wings. This will add some pretty glitter to them. I'll put these aside to dry for a minute. It doesn't take long. I'm going to lift the paper here so you can kind of see the glitter. It's hard to catch on camera, but they're so pretty. And now I can start putting the card together. I'm going to attach it to a black card mat. And I did die cut something from this, but that's all right. You won't see it. I just need the edges. And next, I'm going to attach it to my white card base. So for the $25 gift certificate giveaway, I will have the link to the raffle copter in my description box below. So you'll want to click on that to enter the giveaway. I'm popping up my butterflies with some foam adhesive. And then I thought I was done, and this was sitting on my little shelf while I was doing other things. And I realized I forgot to add the flowers. You can't have a card that says freshly picked flowers and then not have any flowers. So I pulled it back down, and I'm going to add some ink. This is the Kitsch Flamingo ink. They're going to be cute pink tulips. I'll wipe off the bottom so that I can stamp that with green. I'll stamp the tulips first. And I'll stamp this up one more time so they're good and dark. But I'm going to use a Post-it note just to cover up the stems and the leaves. This just makes it go faster. I'll ink it up, pull off this Post-it note, and stamp it again. For the greenery, I'm using crushed olive. Let me just clean off the pink. And then I'm going to reuse this Post-it note. This time I'll cover up the tulips and put ink over the stems and leaves with the crushed olive. And then I needed to put a little bit of ink down lower. So I'm just using a makeup brush, a really thin makeup brush, to add some greenery under the gate on the truck, or whatever that thing is that stands up higher. And then I could just wipe the ink off of the black embossing. I decided to add some iridescent bubbles on this panel. This is from Studio Katya. I'm just using my little silver heart tray. This is new in my Etsy shop if you're interested. And I'm just going to put 3 of these down. I'll use my jewel picker. That just makes things go quicker and easier. And then a little bit of glue behind these. This glue goes on white, but it will dry clear. And I just love this touch of sparkle to the card. I also decorated the inside, and you'll see that here in just a sec. I'll pour these bubbles back in the baggie. And then here is a close-up look at the card. I just love how this one turned out. It was so much fun to create. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'd appreciate it if you would hit that like button. The next person in the hop is Jamie from the Not Too Shabby Shop. I will have the link to her video in the description box below. You'll find a lot of wonderful inspiration in the Not Too Shabby Shop spring release. Bye!